Hello there guys, welcome to SC2 Improved Stream. We've got a quick little match here tonight. It's going to be best of 7 all kill between Gravity and Nuit Blanche. And we should be getting into the start of this game right now. Both players are ready, so we're just going to go and load up, and our starting players are going to be Space Marine and Delane. It's going to be a PvZ on Polar Knight to get things going here. And again, this is Gravity versus Nuit Blanche for the first division of the SC2 Improved Team League Season 2. Best 7 all kill maps may not be repeated. We are playing with the current ladder map pool right now, and we're going to get into this game right about now because we are loading on up. We'll have a little bit of a discussion about the teams, the players, as we get into the game, but for now Polar Knight is going to be our map and spawning in. Okay, may have started saying that one a little bit too early. As Delane with a Y. Let's go with Delane. I guess it does say Delane, to be fair, or Delane is going to be the player we spawn on in the south side of the map. He is the orange Zerg player representing his team, Nuit Blanche, Delane. On the other side of the map, the pink Protoss player representing Team Gravity, one of their most recent pickups, not their most recent. They've just picked up a Korean player yesterday called Blast, if I'm not mistaken. But this guy, he joined their ranks a week, maybe, I think it was actually just 1 week ago. In the pink, representing Gravity, it is Space Marine. Yeah, and he spawns on the top side of the map. Very standard vetoes coming in. We saw the Protoss player, he vetoed Altazine, he vetoed Daedalus, and Delane, you know, he got rid of Yonsu, got rid of Habitation as well. And Polar Knight's our map. It's just a fairly standard map for PvC, I would say. You know, there was a time where people would argue this third base is so hard to take, but it really did get figured out. And despite the very, it's not very narrow, it's very wide and it's very open. But despite that openness, you know, it's still pretty nice to take as a Protoss player, because the Zerg still has to kind of get to this position to abuse all the openness. You know, they even have to come through this choke, which is of course very small, or this ramp, which is, you know, it's fairly large, but it's not the biggest, and even then they've got quite a way to push forward. So generally this third base can be taken quite easily for Protoss. Something we also see sometimes, of course, 2 base all-ins from Protoss players on this map. So we'll just see how things are going to go, depending on what the players want to do, of course. As Space Marine going to look to put his first power on his main base, but he's going to just go for Nexus first here. He's up against the pool first, and we'll see if Delane can maybe send any lings across the map to do a little bit of harassment maybe, as this probe's going to scout straight away after putting that Nexus down. And I assume this is maybe going to be a Forge. Considering it's a Nexus first, it could be a very greedy build with a Gateway first, but it'd be kind of weird, especially on this small of a map, the rush distance being very small here. So it is indeed going to be that Forge coming down, and we've just got a very standard Nexus first, Forge expand, going up against Pool first, into a hatchery, and this is exactly going to just be scouted completely right now by our Protoss player. The Zerg player is at the front, he sees the Nexus first, so he's probably going to think to himself, well, I'll just play gasless, there's no real rush to really do too much in the game. And the first gateway is just now going down, and that's actually now confirmation for Delane that this is a Forge expand. He's not going to be under any aggression. He is actually going to get his gas anyway, and he's going to let that complete, so he will just get speed here and probably then just pull out unless he's going to show something a little bit crazy, but still nothing too crazy. I mean, you can get that speed. It delays your third hatchery by about 20-30 seconds or so, and not too much else. So the last time these two teams met, at least to my knowledge, or the last time they met in the SC2 Improved Team League, it was in Season 1. They met in the group stages, and it was a very close match. In fact, Group C was very close altogether. Now, Nuit Blanche actually came out of Group C undefeated, but Team Gravity were one of the teams which gave them the biggest run for their money, as they went 4-3 against them. So, you know, last time we saw this series happen, it went to all 7 games. And we'll see if something like that is going to happen here again today. As, you know, since then, Nuit Blanche, they've become a little bit of a weaker team. They've lost one of their star players, Lil Bo, for example. And, you know, he was a big point of their way of being undefeated until the playoffs last season. In the playoffs, of course, losing to My Insanity. And Gravity, they only just missed the playoffs. They performed very, very well throughout the season. I think they went something like 9-4 in matches altogether, but they just didn't have. It was just a little bit too low to be able to close it out and make that top 3 spot to make the playoffs. And I think they finished 4th in that group, just ahead of Dark Star, but behind, of course, Nuit Blanche, as well as missing in action, as well as. Ooh, I'm not too sure who else was in their group. Actually, let me just very quickly check that, as in the game right now we do have a Stargate coming down for Space Marines, so it's a very slow opening here. Overlord's going to come in and scout, sees the Stargate almost immediately, and you know, he's got his own third base coming up as well, a bit later than Zerg players usually do like against a Protoss player who goes Forge Expand, but nonetheless, I mean, he does have that speed to show for it, and that means he will actually kill off this probe here. And this probe's going to get chased down to its death. And there we go. Poof. Probe dies. And a few lings just heading across the map. Going to hold some map control and just make sure no more probes get out on the map. And that means, you know, delaying. He can feel very, very safe here for the remainder of this game. This Overlord may even get away from this sentry. The sentry may not have enough DPS on it to actually take this down. It's going to be pretty close. I mean, the sentry's getting pretty close to the edge now. Okay, he's going to survive. And now he's going to head off to that corner. The other team which Team Gravity did finish behind were ESC Gaming, so another very good team, of course. And you know, it's realistic the teams they finish behind to finish behind them, and they were, of course, just a little bit away from maybe moving on there. One more win would have done it for them. So, anyways, in this game we do finally have a Phoenix or two starting to come out, and things are going to start happening around the map here, as the first couple of Phoenixes are going to be just scouting out any Overlords, trying to get some kills. They've already picked off this one over on this side, but this Overlord here as well is maybe going to get picked off very soon. We don't see a Phoenix coming towards it just yet. It's been a little bit missed by Space Marine for now. Spore and a Spine coming up in the third base, and I do believe we should probably have Spores coming up in each mineral line, and we do. And you know, I mean, Dylan just ticking all the boxes. This Queen maybe could be a little bit more protected by getting cuddling up with the Spine Crawler here. With the Spore Crawler even. And 4 Zealots actually moving across the map a little bit now. A few roaches are on the way, so this shouldn't cause too much damage. With a Spine Crawler up as well, it'll really help to just negate a little bit of damage. And these Zealots are actually going to start heading towards the natural, and this Spine Crawler's only halfway done. So may be able to get a little bit of damage done. There's a couple of Overlords out of range of the Spore Crawler as well, and they may also go down. One of them will at least here. Spine Crawler's going to go down here too. A lot of roaches are on the way though, so these Zealots are just making sure units are being made. Another Spine Crawler forced almost immediately, and trying to actually get that Queen. And these Phoenixes can actually start lifting up some roaches and just doing some free damage basically, which is always very, very nice. Even picking up a Queen now, which is coming a bit too far forward maybe. Queens are going to start talking down this other Phoenix, and he will have to disengage this. Had a transfuse for that Queen available as well, so he wasn't really in much trouble. Now continues to spread his creep and thinking about what he wants to do with these roaches. Gets another one of them actually called off over here, and we're only on 4 Phoenixes. Has one died? Yes, we have. I actually completely missed that. Maybe the Queen got it. Maybe it was the. It was either the Queen. One of the Spore Crawlers maybe just getting it in the midst of all that fighting. Kind of hard to say. There's a Queen for kill there, but that could have been a Zealot. As just a couple more roaches continuing to go down. Now, very important to note what the follow-up to this is for Space Marine. He's added a Twilight Council on quite some time ago, and of course with the Forge Expand, his upgrades are continuing to keep on going. He's got his +2 well on the way to completion now. His Blink on the way as well, and he's also gone into a Robo base. He's added on a single Immortal, most likely just for a little bit of safety, but now he's gone straight into Colossi. So Space Marine looking as though he's just going to take a very safe third base. He has that drops on down, and he's pretty far behind in supply actually. He's quite far behind in army. He's not that great on workers either. Going to be able to pick off another Overseer here. With one Colossi coming out though, he should be okay. How many gateways does he have? He's got 7 gates, so Space Marine's at this point in the game where he's basically just about ready to start really just making units. You know, up until now he's really just been focused on economy, harassing his opponent, getting his tech up, getting his upgrades going. Now is the point where if an attack does come, he's going to have 7 gates of units to just be able to warp in from, and very easily just deflect any attacks. especially with the Colossi behind the army as well. That extra splash damage really does do quite a bit. As this army going to move around and just position so they can move towards the natural or the third base very easily, depending where the Zerg is going to attack. 2 Colossi now, and this army is very hard to attack into without any kind of extra tech. Depends how good the force fields are. We do have a Roach Hydra army moving across the map here, and a couple of Hydras are leading the way right now. Unspotted completely by Space Marine right now. He hasn't made any observers in this game, and his Hydralisks aren't really giving him the vision, so these units will be able to start engaging on these gateways here. Now they have to be careful, it's only a single sentry, so I guess they can't really get cut off. But do have to be careful of Stalkers. I mean, they do have Blink, they do have the ability to chase you, and that's exactly what we're seeing right now. And with 2 Colossi as well, and these Phoenixes are going to pick up one of the Hydras. Space Marine is really pushing quite far across the map, and Delane is in complete and utter retreat mode. And Space Marine backs off now. He sees this base. It'd be very smart to just pick off this base and go home, I feel, right now. Denying the 4th base at the same time. Got a few Zealots coming into this 3rd. A little bit of Roach Hydra being sent off to deal with that quite easily. Not too much of trouble really being done in terms of that, and these few Phoenixes going to be able to pick off another drone or so throughout the game. Only 7 workers killed, so not too bad considering these Phoenixes have been alive for 40, well, about 10 minutes now. The Space Marine, that's on a pylon, looking as though he wants to continue pushing forward. In the meantime, we have a hive, but not only a hive, we also have Enduring Locusts and the first Swarm Hosts on the way. So it looks as though we're going to see a Swarm Host tech switch, but is there going to be enough of them? I mean, right now we see only 2 on the way, and that's going to be absolutely it. And, you know, there's 3 Colossi here. The first few waves of Locusts are going to go down very, very quickly, and Delane really needs to do something a little bit special to be able to hold off. Gonna have a bit of a surround though, picks off a sentry from behind you. He's gonna get in on these Colossi very quickly. 1 goes down almost immediately here, the 2nd as well. And this Zerg army is just gonna do a lot of damage here because, I mean, Space Marine just committed a bit too far. He wasn't prepared for an attack to potentially come from the left, from the right hand side as well. He's gonna lose another Colossi, and now he's maybe in a little bit too much trouble. They were all of his units which were going to be used to deal with the Swarm Hosts, of course, so even though he cleans up this army right now he doesn't have anything to really deal with Locusts unless he remakes, and it's going to take quite some time to get back up to the kind of army number of Colossi where, you know, he can just sweep through them Locusts quickly and easily. Quick blink forward here, maybe looking to pick up that Cream Tumor, but unable to in the end. And Zerg player is still stuck on 3 bases, but with a pretty nice army now, he will not have too much trouble in taking his 4th base. Not going to get denied once again here, that's for sure. And look at this, Space Marine even fallen all the way back home. He's stopped his upgrades at +2, he's not going into +3, and looks as though Delane still posturing aggressively. He's got 2,300 mils in the bank. He adds on a hatchery. I suppose he hasn't actually got a macro hatchery just yet. No, he doesn't, so that could really, really help him out, of course. Macro hatchery could help him spend a lot of that money. We see a couple of Vipers being added on right now, and I really like that choice. I mean, Space Marine has to make Colossi to deal with these Locusts, which means if he's remaking Colossi, he maybe can't afford Templars. If he can't afford the Templars, then, well, you know, these Vipers, they're not going to get killed off. And if he's also, again, if he is making Colossi, he's only going to be able to get 1 or 2 out before these units hit, so before these Vipers hit, so the abducts could be very, very effective. And ooh, we're seeing a bit of a blink forward here into the Locust. He's actually going to continue fighting. Is there an observer? I'm sure I just saw one in the production tab not so long ago. There it is. And he's going to see this fight continue as we see the Stalkers blink away now. And Delane has to be very, very careful because he's only just got enough to hold on. Now, these Spine Balls finishing will give him a lot of extra safety. And this Protoss army still just repositioning, going to look to try and maybe come down and hit this 3rd base over here. As a 5th base actually coming up to the top left side of the map as well. And Space Marine is still just on these 3 bases of his own. Forgetting to work in one of his gases as well, will not help him out at all. And I mean, his main's pretty much mined out, so we'll be able to pick off this base. And that's going to get cancelled at the last moment there. These Roaches going to go down as well, but Swarm Hosts moving forward aggressively, looking as though they're actually definitely not meant to be going over there. Okay, maybe they were. He burrows them now. I'm not sure if this was a mistake or if, yeah, it looks like there may have been a mistake. I mean, it's a little bit weird to just walk 4 Swarm Hosts across the map. I mean, yes, you may have Locusts, but still, they're not necessarily going to 100% keep your 4 Swarm Hosts safe, and that's a lot of Swarm Hosts to lose if all of a sudden they do all just go down. So we have a couple of Colossi back up right now. We've got 14 Swarm Hosts, and 5 more on the way is going to take us to 19, which is a pretty decent number. The hit squad of Hydralisks here are actually going to be starting to pick off this Nexus. Stalker's now coming in. They will be able to blink to chase this as well. And the Phoenix is coming in overhead to be able to start picking up some of the Hydralisks if he wants to. If he's paying attention, another blink forward here. At the same time, you actually have Lingers looking as though they want to try and run by into this base. A Colossi just comes out, and that's probably going to go down here. He's going to think about the best way to kind of run this away. He's going to run back towards these cannons, and he might just be able to keep this alive. But a fair amount of damage done on the health of that Colossi. He will now fall back with his main army as well. And Space Marine, you know, he's been through some tough calls, but he's defended well, and he's now back on track for being able to once again fight the Protoss army. A stray Colossi does get picked up upon very, very quickly here. And it does now fall back to the army. So we see 3 Tempests, I keep calling them Tempests for whatever reason. 3 Tempests join the army right now, and a bunch of Swarm Hosts, a lot of Swarm Hosts now. Moving forward again, these Swarm Hosts nearly going a bit too far forward, as Locusts are actually sent down a couple of different directions, and Spine Claws being added on to keep them that little bit safer throughout the game as well. We'd like to see some Spore Crawlers too, because right now, as it stands, they are a little bit weak in case a couple of Phoenixes fly on over, and they could theoretically pick off quite a few of these if there wasn't any Hydras nearby to back them up. Some more and more Swarm Hosts continue to come out. A few Locusts hitting this third base, just hitting a pylon, hitting the gateway. Colossi being current boosted out, and a Warp Prison queued up as well. We've actually got a lot of Colossi here, 6 Colossi. And these Locusts are very clumped up. However, we're going to see 1 Abduct on 1 Colossi, and there's a second Abduct too. So now down to 4 Colossi in this fight, as there's another Abduct going down. So now 3 Colossi left, as this army is going to maybe look to continue coming forward here. Another round of Swarm Hosts does spawn, but Storms are going to be used to try and buffer against this. And now down to 2 Colossi as well, and it looks as though Space Marine is not going to be able to fight through this army just right now. We're going to have to wait just a little bit longer, and his Tempests again. Templar are left behind, and he just manages to save them. But not the fight Space Marine wanted there. I think he thought he could do a lot more, and I really did as well. But then Vipers came in at just the right time and started to pick them off. A lot more Templar being warped in now. Going to be able to a couple of Archons, but the extra ones will be used for some just build up energy for the storms. Locusts dying over here. The next target is probably going to be that Robo facility, which is a bit of a worry for Space Marine, because you know, he doesn't want to lose Colossi production. Remaking Colossi is such an important part of his composition right now. Losing a couple of pylons, he will find himself now supply blocked, and will remake them in a way so that he can protect this Robo facility now. A few more Locusts being picked off, just a couple at a time here. Of course, not the most efficient way to be fighting. These Vipers, pretty nice energy counts right now as well. We'll be looking to maybe abduct a couple more Colossi, but Templar should be a lot more aware of these Vipers this time around, and will be there to look for those feedbacks as fast as possible. And, well, not too much happening, I suppose. The Colossi is going to get going to target down these Locusts. Another Colossi once again join the fray. We're back up to 6 now. Back up to 6 Colossi. Now on 7. And we're still just sat here, but I mean, Delane's been very, very careful and slow about this. He's leaving some Static D over here, rebuilding Static D on this side of the map, and is now pushing in towards changing, you know, his point of focus, coming in towards this 4th base. Space Marine says, well, okay, whatever. I'm just going to kill your Static defense over here, and you know, this is a pretty cool idea, just, you know, saying, right, you know, these Locusts, they're not actually going to kill my base just yet, so I'm going to force you to actually turn around and come back. And look at this, these Locusts are all going to die before they even get close to the army, walking in a single file line. A single Swarmer is a bit too far forward as well, messing up on the rally there, and being rallied forward before he was ready to. A couple of Abducts come forward, and well, he manages to keep one of the Colossi alive for a little while. Could have probably kept both of them alive if he took that a bit more seriously and actually retreated here. Space Marine's continuing to push forward. He's continuing to push in. These Swarm Hosts, they don't have Locusts just yet. So many Zerglings over here just not being used. They've been kind of AFK for quite some time. Corruptors and Vipers coming in once again. Feedback's coming down. A lot of Templar going down before they can use their Storms. The Space Marine is once again trying to retreat. He's got a lot of money in the bank. And if he could just spend all of that right now, it would help him out an absolute ton, as he loses his mothership core. He did add on a couple of Stargates, and he did add on a fleet beacon as well, so maybe that's something he still needs to look into producing out of. And there are some Tempests now going to be joining in this army. Finally, he moves some probes away from his main and natural, which we're not mining as well, so he's going to be able to resaturate his 4th base and start building up his bank once again. He's even got an expansion up here somehow, interestingly. Delane doesn't know about that, so he'll be able to deny that potentially in the very near future. As some hosts are actually going to reposition, they're probably going to head on over to look to shut that down. Space Marine, what did he accomplish in that last push? Well, he did clear out this area. He has kind of regained a bit of control over here, and the creepers only just respreading now to really come back and, you know, start picking up, start being able to recontrol this position. This Nexus will go down, and Stalker saved by a Warp Prism. A few Locusts coming in towards the 4th base too. They'll start targeting that down, and I mean, oh my god, wow. What? That wasn't even that many Locusts. I mean, half the Locusts of the army were up here, and the 4th base falls just like that. Now, if Space Marine was to take a couple of moments to just clear out these rocks in the back, and to take a 4th base back there, of course that would be much easier to defend. And at this point he really needs somewhere to take a 4th base, so it's definitely a possibility. Broodlords are on the way though. Great Spy is morphing on in. And it's going to complete here. These Stalkers which come to kill these rocks get engaged by these Zergans. I think Delane's probably as surprised as their Space Marine is to find them Zergans there, probably thinking, god damn it, you know, wasted supply, I could have more units out already. There's a couple of Swarm Hosts once again come a bit too far forward. His rallies on these sometimes really are hurting him, and now finally we're going to see these rocks being taken down. So he will look to take his next expansion over here. Colossi in front will be able to keep this off. Wow, look at the Tempest count. We're up to what, 6 Tempests already. Seems like just a moment ago he even only just started building them. There's a couple of Oracles being added on as well, and then an essential part of the composition, being able to cast the Revelation and being able to see that, you know, exactly where the army is, and as well giving them Tempests the range to start picking off a couple of units. So them Oracles very important here, as Spine Crawlers are going to move forward once again, adding this static defense line to the right hand side of the map. His left hand side still stands pretty strong. Another base being taken. Space Marine won't be too worried about economy, knowing he has this base on the way up now. He'll be pretty confident knowing he has that to fall back on at any time. And his army's getting to be really sick. I mean, so many Tempests, so many Colossi, and some Templars too, but now he used one of his Templars there, a little bit of carelessness. And I mean, what is there up for the Zerg? 16 Corruptors, 20 Corruptors, 22 Swarm Hosts, 3 Vipers? I'm not too sure. I mean, it's all going to come down to how these two guys engage, and there's a nice couple of abducts here. You're going to start being able to pull these in. Some storms coming down do start to shower on these Corruptors, and a few of them do go down. And was that worthwhile? Well, yes, I probably think so. He did get 3 of the Tempests, but at the same time, his Vipers taking a little bit of damage, taking a lot of damage on his Corruptors. Moving forward once again, needs to keep this Robo facility alive to keep remaking his Colossi, of course. The Locust now hitting forward and starting to engage upon one of the Immortals. It starts to lose its shields just a little bit. Rebuilding these Tempests pretty quickly though. And interestingly, Delane sending his Corruptors and Vipers down to the bottom right hand side of the map for some reason. Locust continuing to get cleaned up over here. What's going on? I mean, he's finally got this base up over here. He needs to really send his probes over there and get them to actually begin mining. An Abduct comes down, very nice Abduct, picks off one of them Tempests straight away. The Templar comes forward for a storm, but he's just too late. Wasn't really paying enough attention there to really take advantage of what the Zerg player was doing. And now we're seeing just a whole bunch of Locusts just die, wave after wave after wave. Look at them all go down. Absolute ton of them just die. And two more Colossi start up once again here for our Protoss player. Army cost, look at the army cost, 10.5k against 5.8k, 6.3k against 5k. Space Marine says this is so sad. And I mean, what can he do? I mean, slowly his opponent's just going to start picking away at him. Unless he makes some kind of major commitment. I'm not sure where the Oracles actually went. They're actually just set back here. If he could get a revelation on these units, then he would really start to deny for quite some time the ability of his opponent to actually, you know, come forward and do these abducts and be able to see it coming. Still got a fair few probes that aren't just mining down here, and that would help him out so much as he backs off and waits for his robot facility once more. Another abduct going to come in, a Colossi reinforcing army is going to go down too. Maybe not. Does that one just survive? Delaying. You know, what would really do Space Marine a world of good right now would be if he was to get a warp prism out. If he could get a warp prism out, I'm sure he had one earlier. He just stood over here with a stalker. If he used this, you know, 6 zealots over here right now, this base is, you know, it just dies. You know, there's absolutely nothing over here to defend it. You know, over here, there's literally no defense anywhere on the map. So if he could just get into his opponent's base with the warp prism, then he could do a lot of damage. And these oracles getting picked off. Space Marine not paying enough attention once again, and losing their oracles before you can use the energy on them. So a little bit of a waste. Another swarm host going down. As corruptor count is pretty crazy right now. That's what 24 plus 28 corruptors. Bunch of slows going down again. Storm 2. We're not quite able to pick too much off. Space Marine is just getting cornered in this alleyway. Can't really do anything. Loses this base now, and he's in trouble. He's got only a limited amount of resources left, and he's slowly getting picked away at. You know, he's killing what? He's killing 3 units, while his opponent is genuinely just picking him to death. You know, killing off important units of his, 6 supply units. You know, Tempests, Colossi. They're expensive, and he's just losing them one after the other. Whereas Delane, you can see his bank just continues to build 200 supply for him almost against the 150 of Space Marine. And just continuing to add on more and more spore crawlers. Another oracle now on the way. And well, looks like not too much is going to be happening. Just waiting for. I mean, the Zergler's choking the Protoss out. The Zergler's got the whole map. If you look at the mini map, it tells the whole story. Our Protoss basically has one opportunity to just come forward and fight. Now that was a good few feedbacks there. Getting some overseers, getting the Viper as well. At some point though, Space Marine just has to decide to come forward and fight. Another feedback, so the Vipers are now dead. And Delane, is he going to remake this? I mean, the Vipers have been very important to be able to actually pick off the Protoss army. And you know, rebuilding them would be an almost essential step here. And there we are, 3 more Vipers on the way as some Locusts die. If Space Marine has any chance in this game, now would probably be it. While the Vipers are down, while they're not going to have energy, just go. And just kind of hope he can somehow kill the army. I mean, I don't think he can. I don't actually think he has enough anti-air. This War Prism has finally been found by him. And I mean, it's playing around with a single stalk. He pulls the Corruptors out of position. This could be, again, maybe his timing to come forward and attack into them Storm Hosts. He sees all of the Corruptors over here. But still no move out from him. And his Swarm Hosts just continue to speed forward units after units after units with them Locusts. And the Space Marine just sits behind. Sits on this base in the back and waits. Waits for maybe the Zerg player to just somehow mess up so you can win this game. We're gonna see another warp gate. It doesn't quite die there. Probably won't die. Will it die to these 2 Locusts? That'd be crazy. No, these Locusts will get it though. I mean, the natural's basically been breached. I mean, Delane, if he wanted to, he could just push way much. He could push forward so much more quickly, and just really. I mean, if he gets to this position here, hey, as long as he stays in the open, he should be fine. As long as he doesn't put his swarm hosts themselves in the choke. So, I mean, he's just gonna play the slow game. He's just slowly picking away at his opponent's main base. Another wave of units come forward. How many spore crawlers have we got? 33. That's not that ridiculous. Space Marine. What can he do? I mean, I think the game is just too far gone now. He needs to harass a lot earlier. He's kind of got a bit of an economy over here on this base. I mean, he's got a lot of this base yet left to mine. He's essentially just saying, you know, I'm going to last as long as I can, build up as much as I can, and then just go. But, I mean, he's just going to start getting those units picked off again. A little bit at a time. Some storms coming down. And just damage a lot of the corruptors. But again, these corruptors, they just turn away, they go away, and they just start to heal. Maybe coming a bit more forward now. Oracle's being pulled forward. Revelation comes down, and now these units can be seen. Is the Space Marine's time to just come forward and go for a fight, or does he wait a bit longer? He's going to wait. Small locusts coming forward here, and again just going to slowly and surely get picked off by these colossi. The air army of the Zerg just positioning over the natural. Viper Horse player waiting for an opportunity. Waiting for his revelation to wear off as well. .34 corruptors now. 21 swarm hosts, 4 vipers, 5 critters, still 12 hydralisks. They're still just over here, kind of just sitting around, not really doing anything. And finally, we have the move forward of the spore crawlers and the swarm hosts as well. So now these locusts are going to have much more effect, much more time to do damage. And then Oracle coming forward, looking for the revelation. He gets it on a few of these units. Space Marine's still just going to sit in the back here. Still just wait. He's not even making any more units though. There's a couple more abducts, and the problem is, I mean, he's obviously waiting to just mine out this base, but the longer he waits, the more the Zerg player mines, and he's losing so much. So I'm pretty sure he's losing stuff more often than he mines enough money to make more. His Colossi count is slowly falling. Spine Crawler is repositioning here now as well. Corruptor gonna consume. Looks as though Space Marine may try and just make his escape here around this side of the map. It's going to come towards the natural. Locusts re-rallied almost immediately though. And a couple of feedbacks coming down very nicely, landing on most of the Vipers I think. And Space Marine, he's just going to... He's saying, I've got money, I'm going to spend it now and just do whatever I can do. He's making a warp prism. Now we play the waiting game in a slightly different location on the map. As this warp prism is about to come out. Maybe he's going to try and actually start to harass his opponent around the map. It's definitely something he really needed to do quite some time ago, I think. It's a bit late now. I mean, Delane's got so much money. If he loses his bases, he's not even going to be that worried about it, I feel. Where's the warp prism? It's just loaded up here with a single Colossi. Not sure what exactly he's going to have doing with this, but could he come in from behind? I mean, a few moments ago he probably could have come in from behind on these swarm hosts and just gone for it, but now as it stands, he can't. Not with these spore crawls once again repositioning. The revelation coming down, and this Protoss army is continuing to just sit here and try and trade, but the Zerg army always looking for an opportunity to come forward and abduct and pick off some units and just lower the supply of this Protoss army, lower the efficiency of it. You know, we're not seeing anything made for Space Marine. He's got money, just he's not making anything. He can't actually, doesn't have supply for it right now. He's got so many pylons over time. Coming up to the 50-minute mark as a couple of Templars make their way forward. Spore Crawlers are moving forward from the left-hand side, those Spines as well, and again, this is just going to be a slow choke out of our Protoss player here, as these Locusts continue to fall. Corruptors looking as though they may try and come in from a different angle. And also moving forward, looking as though he's going to be able to... Yeah! So that's what the Warp Prism's for, storm drops on this Corruptor army. Bye-bye, Warp Prism though. Another Warp Prism comes out almost immediately. And it's delayed and continues to just sit here and wait. The Locusts are kind of pointless going in this direction. You might even be able to send his Locusts down here just to actually finally kill off this base. I don't know. Another Abduct, Colossi is going to go down. Wow, he's sending Infested them now as well. You can see that in the production. Production's been pretty empty for the last 10 to 15 minutes. It's just that one Infestor on the map, and look at this now. Now Space Marine just retreats to his main base. The Chronobust's a probe? I'm not sure why. Chronobusts have 2 more Tempests as well, but I mean this is the kind of the last of his money. Locust now picking away at this nexus, this robo facility. Locust stopping just short of the target down towards the fair. Like kind of behind the scenes base. Look at the changes, and a single Hydralisk too. Coming with the changeling. Space Marine's killing his own Gateways for him over there. Hydralisk comes wriggling slowly, starting to take everything down, and the Space Marine just continues to sit. He's just going to sit in his main base. There's a Broodlord on the way, just one Broodlord. Space Marine now supply blocked, 124 and 108, and if he made enough pylons to be unsupply blocked, he probably wouldn't be able to make any more units. Pretty fresh wave of Swarm Hosts coming forward. Here's the Swarm as the Swarm is completely repositioned. Will allow them to move forward just a little bit. He's looking to come down here, and he's going to go for... I don't really know what. He's going to feed back a Queen. He's going to get his Templar abducted though. And, well... more ducks going down, storms kind of graze the corruptors but don't do too much. So Locusts continue to pour into the main base. They started to pick off on the robot bay for just a little bit, but really not achieving anything. Single Broodlord now. It's attacking the pylons over here, sending his Broodlings into battle. And this base will now stop. We'll now have to stop mining. As we begin to approach the 1 hour mark. The problem is these Locusts can't really get into the main base. Every time they try, they just get killed off by the Colossi so quickly. Even using a force field now to keep them out. Corruption's Viper's going to come in from a different angle once again. Aware of this though, baits out a storm. No use at all. The Tempest being kept very far in the back. Force field being used. A couple more Broodlords coming in as well. And apparently this Broodlord decided to stop attacking over here. Did that Broodlord die? I guess it got sniped by the Tempest. That's coming forward once again. The army, and I mean he stormed on top of his army at first there. Definitely not what he meant to do. A couple of Broodlings dropping off here. More Locusts coming forward as well. I feel like if he really wanted to, if he just flew in and took the fight, he'd probably win. I mean, he can remax on like 50 Nautilus, because if he wanted to or something, like... I mean, the only real worry, I suppose, is the storms. Like, in terms of ever engagement he's ever going to take in this game. That's why he's not moving too far forward with his Corruptors all the time. Foresight count is beginning to dwindle, now on 4. That means these Locusts will start to become more and more effective all the time. As there's a good Abduct. Trio of Abducts, 1, 2, 3 Colossi go down. And now he has to rely purely on Storms to deal with these Locusts. Storms in the force field. Space Marine has some money once again. He's got Robo Bay. Both of his Robo facilities seem to be dead though. These Hydras still not doing anything. Could kill them off, you know, we'd make a few more Corruptors or something, I don't know. And here we go, now having to use the Storms to be able to fight through these Locusts. And that's obviously not a good thing for him at all to have to do, using that energy. And this has been one of the slowest deaths I've ever seen. Is the Robo Bay gonna start falling here? These Locusts just moving on through, gonna take down another pylon. Space Marine is somehow, both of these players somehow keeping a pretty high APMs. Space Marine just clicking around all the time. Killer Bunny says it looks like this might be over. Yeah, it does, doesn't it? It's looked this way for quite some time. Zergler just continues to move Spore Coolers and Spine Coolers forward. A couple of Vipers here do get feedback. The Storm comes down onto them Corruptors as well. Spores are starting to just run out of buildings even in this game. Now this wave of Locust can do some pretty decent damage, taking down a Simulator. Now he can take down not just a pylon, but maybe even a second pylon. Splitting up his Corruptors here. Is he just going to fly in? I mean, the Tempests are pretty much gone. There's one Tempest left, there's one Colossi left. It's the Storm's the only thing that's really left over. And he's going to just fly in. And if he kills off all of these units, I mean, well, the Storms are actually just killing his own Templar. Oh, and we GG out just before the 1 hour mark. Wow. Wasn't that a thrilling game to start the day? Well, a 1 hour game exactly by the time we just tap on out of there. And that is how Nuit Blanche take a 1-0 lead in this best of 7 all-kill clan war. We're going to be seeing who Gravity send out next for their team. Of course, now Polar Knight is not, is now no longer in the map pool. So we'll see what map and what player they're going to send out to try and take down a Zerg. Of course, there's quite a lot of nice Zerg kind of anti-Zerg maps here. Yonsu, for example, Habitation as well, maybe a little bit. There's Aldazim, Daedalus, Frost, Heavy Rain. Well, they're all fairly good for Zerg players. So let's see who Gravity are going to send out next, as we await their decision. A pretty long game to start things off with there. So, still just waiting for this player pick from Gravity, and as soon as we do see the player pick, we'll so, got a few little moments here while we await this next player pick out of Gravity, and see who they're going to send out. Space Marine was dead about half an hour ago in that game, I reckon. I really feel like he had opportunities to just go. We just didn't take them. Instead, he just decided to sit back and die. Which is, well, it's tough. Kraos is the next map. And, here's the next map. There's the next player, even. And, he is a Zerg player. So we're going to see a ZVZ. Hopefully, they don't go Swarm Host versus Swarm Host, because that would not be very fun. And the pick is going to be Heavy Rain, so let's host this up for these guys and get in game for game number 2 here between Gravity and Nuit Blanche. Their first game of the first division for both of these teams, and of course being able to take a victory here would be very nice for either of them. Get a good start to the season. So asking if ready. And if Delane is ready, we'll be able to click start, and here we go, ZVZ. And Heavy Rain is going to be our map. So, we're loading on up. And Heavy Rain, we actually saw ZVZ on this map yesterday. It was a pretty cool ZVZ in Cascade versus Cascade versus Max Flow. It was a pretty cool game. We'll talk a bit about that after we introduce our players. In the lower right hand corner here, we do have the Orange Zerg player winning that last 1 hour game from Nuit Blanche's Delane. And in the left hand corner, the purple Zerg player from Gravity, it's Kraos. So yesterday in a ZVZ on this map, we saw a really cool kind of a fast Spire from, I believe it was the Cascade player, and we saw the other Zerg player. He went for this kind of Roach Bane all in and did a lot of damage, and you know, it wasn't quite enough to kill the opponent, but it gave him a pretty significant lead. The Mutalisks, you know, they kind of did a bit of damage. They kind of bought him some, the Zerg player who took the damage, quite a bit of time, but it just wasn't enough time. So we saw actually a couple of really good ZVZs yesterday, so hopefully this will be another good, pretty fun ZVZ. As we do see a pull first coming up for Delane. And we're going to see a pull first coming up for Kraos as well. And a gas very quickly coming down for Delane as well. So, pull followed by gas, looking as though he might be the aggressive player here. With that earlier gas, and we'll see what Kraos wants to do. It looks as though he's just going to take his hatchery down the low ground. And we'll see how quickly he'll take his gas to follow up his hatchery. We'll see if he maybe wants to try and play gases, which could put him in a little spot of trouble against this faster gas from Delane. So keep an eye on this and see how this is going to go. Do you see a hatchery coming down for him? So you will have that down for extra production. It's not like this is just going to be kind of some one base all in. And what's really going to tell us what's going to happen is how much gas does he mine, of course. Is he going to go past the 100 mark? And if so, how many workers is he going to keep in there? If it's free, he's going to go for very fast banelands. If not, then he's probably just going to go for this very fast speed and probably going to try and flood with a few lings fairly early on. So see Banelands coming down here straight away for Kraos. He does scout this later expansion of his opponent. It isn't that much later, but what he did scout actually with an Overlord or drone, or it looks like as though it was an Overlord, was this gas. He sees how quick the speed is for his opponent, so he actually starts up a Baneland for himself immediately here. So he's going to be fighting with Banelings and slow lings against speed lings, and a lot of it will come down to them Baneland hits. So well, here come the lings coming out of Delane right now. 12 more, going to make 18 in total for now. And that could be, and he's producing some more as well, so he really is going to commit to this kind of flood across the map. Is Kraos going to have enough units? I mean, he's got 4 Zerglings on the way out, and he will have a Bane nest, but it comes down to how well he can engage, of course. He's going to have a Spine Crawler too, which, well, it's nice, but it's not the most effective. Spine Crawlers are much better against Banelings coming in, of course, than they are against just Zerglings, because they attack so slowly. When there's so many Zerglings, it doesn't make that much of a difference. I'm not sure if that Zergling actually saw them 2 Banelings there. These 2 Banelings are about to finish morphing in, and Banelings 3 and 4 are now morphing in as well. One Baneling gets used immediately. Another Baneling also going to go down very quickly here. Another Baneling is here, but it doesn't get used to that great effect. And now there's a gap on the ramp, and Zerglings are in the main base. And they have speed as well. 12 Zerglings just starting to be produced here from Kraos, but he's in trouble. He's taking quite some damage, and he's probably going to lose his queens as well. No, he pulls away with his lings. Doesn't want to lose them just yet, as more lings are going to flood in for Delane. And I mean, he's going to start flooding into the main base once again. He doesn't get a block on that ramp, and now these Zerglings are going to go for these queens. These queens are going to die almost immediately. Now speed's about to finish here. Oh, a nice transfuse is just getting in, and that's why he maybe should have targeted them queens a little bit earlier on. And actually fighting against them queens and losing the Zerglings has given now his opponent a bit of an opportunity. More Zerglings still streaming in and looking to do a bit more damage. The worker count is now even, but with Delane droning very heavily, he will take that lead in just a moment here. So with speed and a Baneland nest down for Kraos and just speed up. Oh my god, Delane doesn't have a Baneland nest. He's now only just now making Zerglings, but he may lose a queen. I mean, he's got 12 Zerglings on the way. If Kraos knew that his opponent didn't have a Baneland nest, he could probably win this game right now if he just kept on making Zerglings. He's going to fight here straight away and trade off against some of these Zerglings. Now some more Zerglings are on the way out. All these Banelands are going to finish. Yes, they are. And they're going to look for as good as a connection as they can get as these lings continue to trade as well. Oh! Okay, well, the aggression will continue here from Kraos for a little bit longer, but now it looks as though he will turn around and go home. As Delane starts up his own Baneland nest, his lair starting up as well. And I mean, the worker counts are even. The lairs are fairly similarly timed, though everything is pretty even actually in this game. So from a pretty fast-paced start, we're gonna see both these players head into a pretty even game and see what they want to do with their lairs. Is either they're gonna add on a roach wall and evo chambers, or are we just gonna see Spire play come down? We are seeing all gases being taken by both players now, so most likely gonna be that mutalist style of play, which isn't as common as roaches nowadays. But so it's been quite some time since I've seen Muta against Muta, and of course it's a very fragile matchup. You lose one fight, you take one hit too early compared to your opponent, and boom, that's it gone. You get your upgrade a little bit too late, boom, you lose an advantage as well. And there's the Spire coming up for Delane. The next player to put the Spire up, of course, should be Kraos. as his lair is just about to finish. Looking for a way to maybe get in here and kill a worker or two, but doesn't manage to achieve anything at all here. Could turn around and maybe trade against them Banelings, but a few Lings coming out to help back him up, and you just get one Baneling for 2 Lings and manually explodes that Baneling. A little bit of a mistake there. So another Baneling now being buffed to then he's going to go on the offensive once again here. Spire is now down for both players, and Kraus is making a bunch more Zerglings here while Delane makes drones. So the worker counts are still fairly even. Delane keeps retaking the lead, as Kraus feels like he has to make units to defend. But altogether it's pretty even on either side. And a couple of Banelings actually coming forward here, looking for a way to maybe try and deny a third base. One Baneling doesn't really get any hits at all. Oh, this next Baneling could definitely get a few hits. As there we go, he gets a few Zerglings, but not quite a lot of them. Ooh, that was a much better hit. But the Zerglings here for Kraus just not enough. Just the Zerglings for Delane not in a high enough number to really finally shut this down. One Baneling is going to get targeted down, and the second one. And these are both going to go down here. And Kraus is going to hold off from this right now. Both players banking money right now to make mutas. 4 mutas on the way for our orange Zerg. However, there's a lot more money banked for our purple Zerg player. He's going to be able to make 7 at once if he's got the lava for it. Does he have the lava for it? No, he doesn't, and that's why he's not making any more. But if he did, he'd be able to take a pretty huge lead here now. Delane is keeping up the aggression. He wants to keep on fighting. He wants to try and cancel his opponent's third base, but it looks as though Kraus is going to be able to defend him with his own Banelings coming in. Trading 1 for nothing there so far, and these Zerglings still just chasing each other around. But the muta's now coming out, and this means that we're pretty much going to see third bases coming up for either player, finishing. No cancels have been made, and the gases are going to be a bit faster for Delane, so a very slight advantage for him there. The one disadvantage for Delane is he has left his overlords out on the map, so if he loses map control for a few seconds here, these Mulisks are going to take a pretty decent advantage of that, take down a fair few of these units. Overlords, and that's going to force his opponent to remake, but oh no, Delane comes in, he gets the better start to this fight, and picks off one of the Mulisks of his opponent, and now he's maybe a little bit cornered. Did he overstay his welcome? He picked off a drone there, and just mutas being traded on either sides, and again now, Kraus comes in once again with the faster attack onto the Mulisks. But the lower number, if I'm not mistaken, yes, 6 to 10. And this is really bad actually for Kraus. I mean, he's got 5 more mutas about to pop, but he's losing overlords. And this is really good for Delane, doing a fair amount of damage here initially. And Kraus just leaves the game. Wasn't even in... I mean, he wasn't in the best of positions, but he wasn't in a necessarily position where he could not come back, One good fight definitely could have turned it around, and... taps out, Delane takes the game, and all of a sudden Nuit Blanche are seeing themselves sail into a 2-0 lead in this best of 7. So a 2-0 lead now for Nuit Blanche, and we'll see who the next player will be out of Gravity, because they've lost 2 of their good players here, and I mean Nuit Blanche have a pretty solid lineup to follow up with as well. Remember, they've got Petit Drogo, a GM player. They've got Elroy, who's also a Swiss GM. And they've got a few other players too, so let's see who's going to come out next for Gravity, as they find themselves 2-0 down here. Once again, last time these two teams met in the SC2ITL, it was a 4-3 victory for Nuit Blanche, and they're looking to go one step further today and not just take a 4-3, but maybe even a 4-0 and all kill if Delane can keep up this playing the way he's been playing so far, because he has been playing pretty well. I mean, the first game he got ahead pretty solidly, took a while to finish it out, close it out, but it was okay. And in the second game there, his attack didn't really do much, but he defended his opponent's counter attack. Well, it did enough, defended his opponent's counter attack, and then when the mutas came out, got himself a slight advantage, and it turns out that was enough to turn Kraus away. Now, again, Kraus, he was definitely behind. He was down more than just a couple of mutas. But you never know. You may add on a couple of queens, something crazy. He had so many minerals and not enough gas. You could have made a load of Zerglings, gone for a run-by, and if he kills the third base with a run-by somehow, maybe he's back in the game. So I don't think it was quite game over for Kraus. But, well, Gravity 0-2 down. and they're going to look for Saviour here as they wait for their third player to be selected. Who have they got in the chat? Well, they've got a player called Trace in the chat, someone I honestly have absolutely no idea about. Looks as though he is a Protoss player. So they've got Trace, they've got a couple of other players in here as well. They've got a player called Raynor, a player called Drelek. Both are players who haven't played much on EU though. And they've also got their leader Zen here, who's a Protoss player who could come out for them if necessary. So we're going to see what game number 3 is going to bring us very soon. We'll find out our matchup pretty quickly. As we just take away, as we just repost the map pool for these guys. And guys, if you're enjoying the show, do make sure to hit that follow button if you're enjoying the stream. If you want to check out any other SC2 Improve Team League broadcasts, head on over to youtube.com/SC2Improve. I think our first one should be up there from yesterday. It's been taking quite some time to load up, but it's a new format. It should be spoilerless, and it looks like it's still not quite done. Wow, it's taking a long time, but it should be up here in the future, so you can head on over there. You'll be able to catch some VODs at some point, which is the important bit. As well, a good place to check out is our website SC2Improve.net, and that's an awesome place to check out for the Team League right now, because if you click here, the SC2 Improve Team League, you not only get onto a page with all of the news about the SC2ITL, but then you can get onto everything you would possibly need. The match calendar is one of the main things, which basically shows you all of the different matches going on, where they're being streamed, etc, etc. As you can see, a lot of matches taking place tomorrow, and a lot of matches taking place on Sunday as well. And Combined Sanity vs Carnegie Sports taking place on Monday. That's going to be an absolute cracker of a game as well. So we're waiting for our next player here still from Gravity. They're not yet announcing who that will be. The +1 didn't finish on either side. The +1 carapace was about to finish, but it wasn't quite there, so it was close, but just not enough. And the +1 was pretty even on same time on either side, so. So Zen's just saying they need another a little couple more moments here to decide their player, and once they've decided that, we will get into that next game. The remaining maps: Artisan, Stronghold, Daedalus Point, Frost, Habitation Station, and Yonsu. So 5 remaining maps, of course. A minimum of 2 more games if delayed will kill a maximum of 5 more games. Yeah, so we're already actually an hour in. That first game, of course, taking quite some time. But we're all just waiting for this next map to be picked, the next player to be picked as well. We'll see who that's going to be for both of these teams here pretty quickly, hopefully. Of course, it's going to be delaying for... It's going to be delaying for Nuit Blanche. But who will it be for Gravity? They've got a few members here. Who are they going to pick? Probably discussing it right now. It is quite important because, you know, whoever they send out, they don't have to just be the Zerg. They have to do a lot more than that. They have to go and really take more. Yeah, they have to take like 2 maps really. And if they can take 2 maps, even up the series, then if they lose, their last player can come in. They still have to take 2 more as well. So it's a tough spot. It's definitely possible, but it's not going to be easy for whoever is sent out. You know, winning 2 games in a row against a team of this kind of caliber, Nuit Blanche, is never going to be easy. So just still awaiting this next player pick here from Gravity. We would take a music break. In fact, we could play some music. I don't really want to because it makes it more of a pain to edit in YouTube. So we've gone with it for so long now. Maybe we'll just stick with it. At least this time. Maybe play some music after the next game if it's going to take this long once again. Still just waiting to see. And it is going to be Trace coming out, and it's going to be Yonsu our map. So, third map Yonsu, and we'll see how this is going to turn out. Now, I did before mention that Trace was a Protoss player, I think. Yonsu, of course, a very good map for PvZ. So let's invite Trace in here, and Delane. Invite both of these guys in. And it is going to be PvZ, so if these guys are set to go, we'll head straight on into this third map now. And get this underway and see if Delane can continue his streak here. 2 wins so far, going for his third. Trace is ready. If Delane is ready, we'll be able to go as well. Trace is currently low masters on EU, but that's basically because he doesn't play very much. He's got 2,000 bonus pool. He's on 74 wins and 7 losses this season. Good look at Fun Gold on either side, and we can start up this map. So here we go, loading into Yonsu here for third map of the evening between Gravity and Nuit Blanche. Who is going to take it and who is not? Only one way to find that out, and that is to watch the game, which is exactly what we're going to be doing right here. Alright, so how is everyone doing in the chat? Who is everyone cheering for? Let us know as we introduce these players. It is a best of 7 and currently trailing 2-0, meaning they have 2 more chances, 2 more players left. In the bottom left hand corner, the pink Protoss player, it's Trace. Left to right, the orange Zerg player representing Nuit Blanche, Delane. Delane. However we decided, Dylan. However we decided to say it. And wow, look at this. Trace is just going to go straight away and throw down a pile on his opponent's side of the map. Single gateway, double gateway, I'm not too sure what exactly he's going to do. I kind of worry for him because Delane, he's opened pool first in both the 2 games we've already seen, and that of course would be the better way for him to defend here, at least initially. It'll give him the best chance of defense. Single gateway on the way. It's probably just going to be this one gate, I assume. Just put on a bit of light pressure and maybe transition out of it. We'll see how exactly he wants to do that as the game pursues onwards here. No gas being taken just yet for Trace, so he does just want to pump out some cells for now. And there's that pool first coming up for today, and adding a panel onto his low ground natural just so he can take his expansion in the near future and have a wall off there so he's nice and safe from any kind of Ling run by. Delane, he did move out for a bit of a scout. Look at that, oh my god, he scouted all the way over here and stopped just before he got to the gateway. Wow. He's going to be kicking himself. He's now sending an overlord over there, maybe? I'm not sure what he's sending over here, but he did click. This guy, I mean, it doesn't matter. He's not going to scout it in time now. This first LA is going to pop out now. This is fairly all in, remember, from Trace. I mean, yes, he's putting himself in a position where he could maybe expand back at home. He's still making workers, but he's still not got gas, and this is a long time to delay a gas war. I assume he's actually going for Nexus first. So, you know, I guess it's not that bad. If he takes his Nexus first, now takes his double gas, he should be okay. And this first does hit this on this natural hatchery. 4 those lings on the way and a queen too. Second zealot is going to join in just a moment's time. First couple of lings coming out here, and I mean this hatchery is taking a lot of damage. He doesn't want to fight just yet, of course. I may even want to wait for his queen before he actually comes and fights. He's going to try and buy some time. Yes, he is. He's going to try and buy some time by coming in and fighting, but of course it's so difficult when these zealots do so much damage to the Zerglings. More Zerglings still on the way, and I mean, if third zealot's coming in, so now is basically the time to fight, and he just can't quite do it. And this first queen is coming down along with drones. He really needs to keep this hatchery alive, and he realizes that. And he's going to fight with absolutely everything here. He starts a spine crawl. These zealots are going to keep on kiting away, and now these drones and these Zerglings are all going to commit in and go for this fight. How much damage is going to be done? Well, the hatchery survives, but what cost? You know, how much did he sacrifice to fend this off? The answer is only 2 workers. Another Zealot here now, though, and he doesn't really want to fight this with Zerglings. I mean, ideally, he would just be moving across the map with these Zerglings and maybe looking for a way to do damage, but with a Forge down, he won't be able to. Now these Zerglings are going to hit the front and they're going to take down this gateway. Yes, they're going to take down this pylon. Yes, but there's already another gateway back at home, and this is turning into just a pretty standard Forge expand out of Trace. As again, this will eventually go down here. A couple of Lings just moving across to take some map control. This hatchery is so low on health, and that could definitely prove to be a problem for Delane as this game continues onwards. You know, it's going to be a very easy target to snipe. This gateway is finally going to get killed off here. Oops, we don't want to say anything in Observer Chat, do we? So, gateway does finally die in a puff of an explosion. I was going to say puff of smoke, but it's more of an explosion there. And these Lings heading across the map, they're going to look to just make sure nothing comes out of his opponent's base. He's actually doing something pretty cute, and that's nibbling away at these rocks. And if he sends the rest of these Lings to attack these rocks as well, he may very well force a little bit of a reaction out of Trace. That being said, a Mothership Core's on the way, so it's not that bad. The Mothership Core should be able to kill these Lings before they get the rocks. And of course, if he did get the rocks, he'd be able to kind of run by here later in the game. That's not going to happen. Mothership Core's here, and these Zerglings, they do have speed, can disengage this very, very quickly. That's exactly what they will do, as they look to maybe come back towards the natural, returning away once again, realizing exactly what is up here. So Lings from the front door once again, turning away very quickly. And delaying, going up to a lair, adding on going up to 4 gases. Is he going to go for a 2-base Spire or something? He very well may, but that, I mean, if he wants to, he can, but the problem is his opponent is throwing down a Stargate, and if he goes Spire, I mean, the Phoenixes are going to come out fast and furiously from his opponent, and they're going to shut down the Mutalisks almost immediately. So let's see what he does. We see a Robo being added on as well for Trace. See what he does build. He builds an Oracle, in fact. But there is a Spire from Delane's. But still, it's not going to be that great because, you know, the possibility to go into the Phoenixes is already there. And with that possibility already being there, you know, all it takes is with this Oracle to spot the Spire and boom. You know. Mothership Core gets the scout right now. In fact, moved in, saw the Spire, and he knows immediately here he can start building some Phoenixes. Now with this scouted, does Delane cancel or does he keep this up? Oracle's going to start heading across the map. Phoenix is now in production, and I think if Delane made Mutalisks here, he's basically just signing his own death certificate. As this Oracle does fly over that third base here, going to come into this natural. It's actually going to start fighting the Queen, and Oracle will take down a Queen without any backup, and he's not going to get it. This Queen does not get any backup at all until it's too late. So this Oracle already doing a pretty decent job. Can't take on another Queen yet, but can still come in and be annoying. Forces a Spore Crawl out here. I'm kind of surprised he doesn't go after this third base, maybe. I guess he doesn't really have that much energy to do anything too significant. I mean, he could have brought it down on HP and made it an easier target for later, but that's not going to happen, as his own third base is now going to start up. So, I mean, compared to the Zerg's third base timing, I mean, he is in such a good position here. And, I mean, he's got his Phoenixes on the way, and he knows there's a Spire up, so we're even going to see this Observer come in here now, probably just to double check, you know, is that Spire still there? What exactly are you going? Already we see a second Stargate being added. This Observer does spot the Mutalisks there, and them Mutalisks coming out does mean that, you know, he'll just keep up the Phoenix production. He's going to absolutely destroy all of these Phoenixes, all of these Mutalisks so quickly. He's already got 2 Phoenixes out. The third one's on the way. He's getting his +1 air weapons. He's adding on 2 more Stargates. He's going to have such a sick economy behind this as well. Look at that nice spot by Delane, able to pick off that Observer. But I'm not sure if he's just made too many mistakes. Well, not really too many mistakes, but too many bad choices in this game. He's adding on some Corruptors now. But again, when your opponent can start up this many Phoenixes so early, go into Void Rays as well, I'm really not too sure. Oracle gets picked off, he starts to turn away with them Mutalisks. So playing safe, doesn't want to reveal too much, does very minimal amount of damage. and then backs off, knowing that, you know, it's better to just do a little and leave than to do a little, try and do more, and lose all of your Mutalisks. Free Beacon now on the way as well for delaying, looking to try Trace, looking to continue on in the game with his Phoenix upgrades, get Anion Pulse Crystals, get that Phoenix range, and continue his air upgrades as well. As we see, Corruptor's coming out here for delaying, going to be looking to just go Muta Corruptor overall in the game, and I suppose he's in an alright position. I mean, he's 70 drones to 63 probes. Considering he's adding Corruptors in nice and quickly, it's not, you know, awful for him here. He's going to actually commit and kill this Mothership Core, which is nice. He loses absolutely nothing, so worthwhile. The Phoenix is now coming forward, but both armies disengage quite quickly. And honestly, Delane's actually in a much better position than I'm letting him out to be. I mean, the thing is, the Phoenixes, they were out, but they never killed off all the mutants straight away. You know, Delane was very safe about how he did things, and because of that, he's in a really nice position now, as he sees these zealots moving across the map as well, taking a bit of the taking some tower control. Mia's looking to try and take this tower control back, coming in with the Corruptors as well here. One of the Phoenixes nearly going down. Anion Pulse Crystal's halfway done. Once that finishes, his kite ability with these Phoenixes will increase so much. And well, these Phoenixes come forwards here. One of them goes down though, and a lot of them taking a lot of damage too. And needs to still just be so careful. There's another Zealot going to get taken out. A few Zealots heading around this side. May try and go for this fourth base. May just try and get into one of the mineral lines here. If they could snipe that natural, of course, that would be huge as well. As more Phoenixes continue on in the production tab, it looks as though these Zealots will get cleaned up very easily. And Delane continues to just increase his army supply. So just tracing the other side of the map. Very few ground units, a lot of air units, of course, with these Mutalisks. With these Phoenixes. Now coming up to the 16 count, he's on 12 so far. And it's a pretty decent number of Corruptors too. I mean, there's enough Corruptors to really make this army safe, and there's a lot of Mutalisks too. Fourth base now finished means that he's going to get the gas mine on here straight away to keep building new Phoenixes, new Corruptors. Coming forward there, doesn't quite manage to snipe a single Phoenix. Oh, coming forward, that time he does, and still doesn't actually lose a Mutalisk there. He's lost one Mutalisk through the whole game, and he's killed 3 Phoenixes. This is really impressive by Delane. His control has been impeccable so far. A couple of Zerglings getting lifted up here by these units, but nothing too major. There's a good few Zerglings do come to look to maybe run into this third base. We're going to find themselves a pylon to the left hand side, and an infestation pit on the way for Delane. It's very possible here that he just starts a tech switch. You know, maybe, which his opponent will not expect at all, is maybe if he starts getting melee upgrades, he could go into Ultralisks. I mean, as it stands, I mean, there's basically no ground army at all coming out for Trace. You know, he's not built anything on the ground for so long, as once again these Phoenixes do begin to engage with the Corruptors. It looks as though they're finally going to find themselves a Mutalisk kill. Maybe a second one too. I'm not sure what died on top of the Phoenixes there. 3 Mutalisks are now killed throughout the game, and these Corruptors continue to come forward. A couple of Phoenixes will die here, and these Corruptors will continue to take so many Phoenix shots to actually kill a Corruptor. It gives them so much potential to just continue chasing. These Phoenixes continue to just back off though, and these Zerglings still just sticking around on the map looking for opportunities to do damage. Some Zealots here will be spotted moving across, and can't really fight these with the Zerglings, but if he can spot them, then he's going to be able to just chase them down with the Mutants and the Corruptors. Hive now on the way as well. Something we could see happen here is maybe the addition of some Vipers, and you know, you may say, if you haven't seen it before, you may think, oh, Vipers, but they're so effective when you add them into this kind of Muta Corruptor clump. You can, you know, once you add them in there, you can just abduct Phoenixes into your army, and slowly you just really do whittle down the Protoss player. Base on the way now, these Phoenixes should be able to lift and save it if they want to, but it looks as though we'll just see a cancel instead. These Zerglings will now just turn around and fight against these Stalkers. 4 Infestors on the way too, of course. Surprise Infestor attack. Fungal Grove on all of these Phoenixes would be absolutely disastrous. These Phoenixes, they rely so heavily on their mobility and the ability to just change direction to pick off the Corruptors and the Mutalisks. That if they get locked in position, they are 100% most likely to just completely die. These Mutants, Corruptors, and Infestors too now. Moving across here. No overseer in the army, not going to spot this observer which is above the tower. And there's still a lot of phoenixes in the sky. As looking for maybe a fight here, looking for the fungal growth. He's going to get it! He's going to grab 5 phoenixes here. And that's a pretty significant hit to the Phoenix count of Trace. Immediately starts to build 2 more. He does have Blink on the way. He's on 21 Phoenixes, 11 Stalkers, 2 Sentries, and a handful of Zealots as well. But the Zealots keep on getting picked off. And look at this, as Zerg player continues to just take bases all over the map. And it's exactly the kind of thing he needs to do. A lot of Infestors, of course, as well, to back up his army here. Ooh, taking a little too many shots on the Mutalisks that time. As gets a little bit too far forward. A blink from these Stalkers to maybe try and come in. Oh no, the fungal growth catches a lot of these Stalkers, but not too much else. And of course, the main issue here is them Phoenixes. Yeah, fungal growth is not able to be followed up. A bit of a wasted fungal growth going down there. And, well, this 4th base is finally going to get set up for Trace now. As we see 6 bases on the map in total for delaying, unless some of these get picked off here in the very near future, which is very possible they will. See a hit squad of Zealots already heading that sort of direction. Nice fungal growth once again here. Gonna come forward with this army. Force fields go down, and I mean, not really gonna achieve anything at all. Corruptors leading the charge once again. And the Phoenixes need to be so careful of all times of these fungal growths. And here we go once again, as these Infestors are actually going to start getting attacked by the Zealots, catching a few of these Phoenixes in a single fungal growth, but that's about it. These Zealots not getting as many Infestors as he maybe would have liked. 17 more Mutalisks on the way, and a Greater Spire. This game continues on in a very interesting manner here, as we're over the 20-minute mark, so really getting into this kind of late game situation here. I mean, it's kind of the same compositions as we've seen all game, but the extra bases are up now. The upgrades are really starting to come forward. The Greater Spire, you know, the Hive Tech, all of these techs are starting to come together, and a lot more possibilities are starting to be seen. And Delane, you know, I really did count him out so early in this game for no reason, really, apart from the fact he was going 2 base muta, and his opponent had a Stargate down. But he's made it work so far, and again, it all comes down to not having lost them early Mutalisks, I feel, because of his very safe way of playing this out up until now. Zealot's been picked off again by these Mutalisks again. This is what this composition is so good at, just denying these run-bys all the time if you've got the map control. The creep is pretty disgusting as well, heading across the map. Some Zealots are actually going to try and stop some of this, but the Overseers are here, and an Observer goes down. A few more Zealots are now caught off. Some Stalkers and some Zealots also coming towards this base, but a pretty decent wall of Spine Crawlers here will be enough to defend this. Mutants coming in as well, just in case it wasn't enough. A single Stalker does get by. Not too sure what he's exactly going to look to achieve here, but he will get picked off. The Mutants turn away, and now they turn back. And this Stalker, it will go down here in a few moments' time. Kaboom! So Stalker down, and next a few Infestors still just out at the front. An Ultra's Cavern now on the way, as well as Enduring Locust. Please don't go to Swarm Host. We've already had one of them games today. Infestors now with Burrow could try and sneak under these Phoenixes. It's going to be very important to keep that Observer nearby at all times, as we're maybe going to have a fight here. But the thing is, these mutants, they're already in position to fight what they want to fight, which means, you know, they don't really have to retreat, and these Phoenixes are going to be pretty much okay. These Infestors still burrowed here, as now they do unburrow to retreat just a little bit. There's been Templars added into this army. Storm is researched as well, and this 5th base is going to try and be retaken once again by Trace here. But nice force of the cancel there by the Zerg player. He's got such a huge bank. He's been trading more efficiently throughout the game. With more bases up, this just looks good for him right now. But of course, his army isn't an army that can realistically fight. It's an army that just looks to always pick off units. 5 Ultras on the way, though. That will be one way to change things. To go from an army that can't really fight to an army with 5 Ultras is pretty significant here. As it looks as though some Mutants Corruptors once again moving forward to just start picking off some Zealots. And these Templars are in the back of the army, and Storm is absolutely huge, and more Storms are going to come down. These Mutants heavily bruised, and if he wants to take a fight now, may be a good time, because then Mutants are very low on health, but he actually just recalls out of there. Where does he go? All the way back to his initial 4th base, and doesn't want to just commit any further at that time. Corruptors, Mutants, now heading over here. This army's completely out of position to deal with this because of the where he recalled to. Some damage being done, some assemblers taken down, denying the gas a little bit. A couple of fungals completely miss. Probes pulled away once again, or just going around a different Direction. Okay, I really don't know what these guys are doing. Finally, the probes get back to mine over here. Some Zergs are attacking. This base over to the side now. The Queens I saw earlier did have... Oh, they're just a little bit out of position. The Queens I saw before did have a lot of energy, so they would be able to quite easily transfuse that hatchery back up to high HP. Ultras are going to keep chasing here. Only one Immortal. A single Colossi now on the way as well. Storms continue to come down because this isn't really where he wants the Storms to be used. And Archon coming in as well to help tank a little bit. The Phoenixes now is the perfect time to get the Fungal. And look at the Fungal. It's absolutely huge. And the trading is going to continue against these Phoenixes, but Delane is losing a lot of units here. The Stalker's coming underneath to help out as well. He's got 6.5k, 4.5k in the bank. He's severely reduced the Phoenix count, but what does he remax on? I really don't know. Does he have lava? 22 lava. He's not making anything, and this army's moving across the map. 19 swarm hosts. Oh, his pick of remax. I don't know, man. Like, he needed to make them a little while ago. He's right now, I mean... He doesn't have static defense. He can't stop the Phoenixes just coming in and picking them up. And that fight, if he could have just landed a couple more fungals, you can see how low HP. So a lot of these Phoenixes are down here, yellows and reds. This would be, you know, picked off so easily. You know, they would have all gone down. Phoenix is coming over here, and they're going to all die to these. Well, these meters are all going to die now. There's no corruptors to tank for them anymore. They're just trying to do whatever damage they can. Some Hydralisks being added in as well. I really don't know about this. They don't have upgrades at all, and he's having to invest in all of this. And after that fight, look how inefficiently the fight was for the Zerg. 25k to 20k, and I mean 5 minutes ago the Zerg was leading by 2k. So really inefficient fight. The Swarmhost Burrow, and they're going to come forward. There's an observer out, and of course the Hydras are just here to kind of be safe against the Phoenixes. And oh no, this army, it's stuck. It's stuck. It can't get back in because of the rocks. And it will get chased down here. Some Voiders have been added on to the composition. We've seen some Infestors added on once again here, as now double Robo Colossi production has started. So we will see enough Colossi here to hold on. As these Phoenixes come over here, they're going to start fighting these Hydras. And these Hydras are going to pick off a fair few of the Phoenixes, but not really nowhere near enough to justify actually losing the Hydralisks. And that was a bit of a mistake. And look at the bank for Delane, completely depleted right now. What was such a huge bank just a few moments ago, and now he's going to lose a lot of these workers if he doesn't borrow them. And an Infestor comes out and does not manage to fungal before time's up. Oh, and a lot of Templar in the out of position here. A couple of storms having to be used to make sure it's safe. So many queens are going down, but now finally these Phoenixes are going to get picked off. But I don't think Trace really cares. He's remaking Colossi, he's remaking Stalkers. Some Vipers on the way out as well right now. And we're hitting the 30-minute mark in the game. So, I mean, this could be another long one with the Swarmhost now on the map, with the Vipers coming out as well. And Delane, I mean, he's still got so many bases out and about on the map. This is the only base he does not have right now. And, I mean, his creep is so good. His creep really allows him to do a lot in this game. As these Swarmhosts send forward another wave of Locusts towards this army. So the difference between last game and this game is going to be Swarmhosts against Colossi Void Ray instead of Colossi Tempests. And we'll see if that makes much of a difference here. These Swarmhosts can't really move forward far enough yet to really reach this base before the Locusts die. A good chunk of Hydras over to the left. And ooh, there's a Cross army is going to begin moving out here. A couple of Queens will probably end up going down. The Locusts are going to come in from behind though, and this isn't good at all. He's going to lose one of his Colossi, uses a Storm as well to clean this up. We'll be able to take this base down in the end, yes. But that was not a good fight for him here initially. Another wave of Locusts coming forward, and it looks as though we're going to have some abducts into the Hydralisks. One of the Vipers goes down, and these Swarmers are now going to burrow. And he's going to kind of trap this Protoss army here. I mean, yes, it can escape down this alleyway. But these Stalkers maybe in a little spot of trouble. They're going to go for the base. But going for this base may lead to them getting cut off here. And they're just going to escape in the end. They do have Blink as well, of course, remember. So there's always going to be that. And another wave of Locusts will go down. But now these Locusts are in a very aggressive position towards this base here, which is mined out. So I guess Trace doesn't have to worry too much about it. His DT shrines just finished over here, though, however. And he will warp in some DTs to start heading over and harassing this base over here, maybe. Looks as though they're actually headed to go into the main, where they could really force quite a few units back. Oh, these Infestors. Oh, they're just going to get by. Just now the Protoss army, he wasn't paying attention, he didn't see them when his Colossi shot at them. And then now these infestors are going to be able to clear out this base. A huge amount of infested Terrans are going to come down. And, Viper nearly getting picked off here. A couple of Queens are out of position. And they're all going to go down. At the same time, these infested Terrans do launch into this base. All of these probes will die, and the Nexus will be one of the next targets for them. Locust going to continue to come forward here, and another Colossus may be about to fall, and there it is, down. As Delane, he's remaxed, you know, he's got his bank building back up once again. He loses this base to this side once again, but at the same time, he kills off this base over here. Maybe going to be close, and he just doesn't. His 55 HP would be worthwhile to just throw down the rest of his the energy of the infestors here, just to kill something off. DT's in the main base. The Novaseer is here in plenty of time, but all the units here, Hydras are on the way to try and save the Hive. I think the Hive may very well go down though. Well, maybe not. These DTs take a break to kill off the Queen, and that's going to stop them from actually killing off the Hive here. Now, a huge amount of Locusts heading towards this base to the right once again. Kill off the cannon before they do die, but again, that's something that Trace has to worry about here in the game. You know, that base is now under attack. Some Locusts trying to, if they could just get here, that space is going to be very, very vulnerable. These infestors are maybe going to look to hit down here as the next target. And, this Protoss army in position to be aggressive once again. Hydras and Swarm Hosts need to really change their position a little bit. These Locusts are going to get killed off so easily. And the Protoss continues to be aggressive. Spore Crawlers are going to reposition just a little bit. A lot of Hydras still on the map. And of course, going to try and use them to just deal with this Void Ray count. As currently this Colossi on the high ground just picking off so many of these Locusts. Infested Terrans on the low ground here will get cleaned up by some DTs. Locusts finally getting close enough to engage. They actually kill off one of the last Templars in this army. Now we have 18 Void Rays and 6 Colossi. Some Phoenixes here as well that we apparently just found a few moments ago or something. They should go down pretty quickly. Gonna get an Overlord, and now they all do die. Locusts continue to chase this army back, and some Infestors being added on here once again. If you can lock this army in position while he sends his Locusts forward, then you know, he's going to be able to pick off quite a bit. These Stalkers out of position, quite a few of them going to go down, and their units that Trace doesn't really want to have to keep rebuilding here at this kind of point. The space may go down over here once again. Oh, some Vipers coming a bit far forward. They need to be very careful, and if he's not paying attention, one Viper goes down, 2 Vipers, 3 Vipers, and one of the Vipers gets away. He abducts the Void Ray into the Spore Crawlers, where he gets away with just shield damage. And these Locusts continue to attack into this base. Looks as though Stalkers are going to be able to take out this base. Stalkers up here are actually killing off the workers. So much happening at the same time right now as the Void Rays and the Colossi are moving forward. Once again, a couple of Storms and the Swarmers, they're in trouble. These units, they're in range of them. The Storm comes down, and the Locusts are going to get taken down pretty quickly. The Templar will die. The Hydra's coming in position once again here as these Stalkers still not being taken out. This base now dies to these Stalkers. This is a very tough positioning for both of these guys right now. More Infestors are being added on for our Zerg player, and Protoss player continuing to move around on the map. Can't quite get over there where he wants to right now, and he may very well lose another base, which is going to mean he's going to lose all of his mining. Looks as though these Hydras will eventually just clean this up. He will get back to mining over here. Still can't take this base though, and this is a base the Protoss player has been able to establish. And this Protoss army now just backing off for a little while, and couple more Stalkers and some Zealots too gonna get taken out on their way over here. So pretty nice catch with these Locusts. A single Stalker over here now will try to harass as this army once again beginning to move forward just a little bit. Colossi will start dealing some decent damage to these, but there's not much to tank for the Colossi once these Locusts get in range. Colossi taking a little bit of damage there. Some Hydras are going to go down as well, and still a lot of Hydras available, a lot of Vipers too, and without any Templar in this army, feedback abducts are definitely a possibility into the Hydra lists to pick off some of these Void Rays. He's actually going to come in, and there we have it. A Colossus goes down. Colossus is probably the better pick here, because killing a Colossi means he can do more damage with the Locusts before they all die. With DT in the main base, going to get this Hive. DT's over here as well, forcing these drones to burrow once again. Once these Locusts get in next to these Colossi all at the same time, it looks as though another Colossi may die. some Hydras moving forward, a lot of Hydras moving forward. And again, this Protoss army gets into a pretty aggressive position. Pure Colossi Void Ray at the moment. This DT's picked off so many of these workers. Now down to 26 drones and 38 probes. In fact, a lot of the workers are here. That's where I thought they'd all been killed off, but a significant amount definitely have been. Retaking his gas here as well. Needs to keep mining that. Looking for opportunity to abduct once again. Here they'll find some new Templar in with the army. No storms on them just yet, but again, their main purpose is to really just be able to abduct. As Swarmho has been sent out once again. Still a fair few infestors here on the map. And they could be a absolutely huge turning point of any kind of fight if they can lock the army in position for the Locusts to get close. Oh dear, this base is going to go down over here. Protoss is going to move towards the Swarm host though. The Locusts are here and no Fungals just yet. He backs off in plenty of time. And coming back in plenty of time as well to be able to defend. Another Stalker picked off on the high ground. A bunch more Locusts on the way. Swarmho's going to find some probes here. Hydralisks even. DT picking away there. There is Overseers here and there. The banks for either player still fairly even. A little bit less gas for the Zerg right now. As he maybe just can't keep dealing with these DTs. These DTs continue to just do so much damage. And again at his bases. And he can't really afford to invest in your Spine Crawls and Spore Crawls. His bank isn't that large at the moment. I mean, he barely has enough Spine Crawls and Spore Crawls over here. Hydra's over to this side. I'm not sure what they just picked off. Was it this base again? It looks like yes, it was. As Locusts are going to come up here and get killed off very, very easily. Infestor's looking for a possible fungal. Not going to get it though. And Templar leading the charge, looking for feedback maybe. But again, they're not going to quite be able to grab that there. As Protoss tries to expand over here. But the DT and Azalt warped in to be able to kill off these Hydras in this base eventually as well. Mining really limited for both players right now. The income tab, as you can see, very low on either side. Slightly higher for the Protoss, and considering he's got a higher bank, that is good for him. He's continued to increase the resources lost. Oh, a couple of Templar coming forward uselessly though, and that's not the kind of trades that are going to win him fights. And nice abducts. Finally, these Vipers are getting some abducts in, but only a single Void Ray goes out of the 4 abducted. And just wasn't quite enough. And DT goes down here as well. Every unit is so worth so much right now. Even these pylons falling over here, and probes, and even the Zealots which may die. It's kind of very costly. Now Zealots, of course, much cheaper than Hydralisks, because Hydralisks cost gas as well. Look at this though, big army movement towards this northwest base maybe. And running out of Templars, running out of Storms though. Could see some Vipers coming in. Oh, are we going to have an engagement here? We're going to see some Fungals maybe coming down. A lot of damage being done by a Storm. No abducts come down in the end. And these Vipers just stay away. This base lives for a little bit longer up here. The only source of income right now for Delane. Whereas we still see this base up here. Imagine he just dropped a couple extra infested Terrans and killed off this base. This game could be so different, because this would have been a base that would have had to be remade for the Protoss player. A couple of Colossi being left behind here, and one of them may very well go down. Doesn't have the high ground vision to finish it off though. Will get a Templar maybe? No, just doesn't. The Colossi, way too much DPS from them. As we still see these two players just posturing around the middle of the map right now, and more Locusts continue to come forward, trying to establish this base over here. And the problem is, if he just sits here on this base, Protoss player, well, there's two things. I mean, A, he only has to sit here and he basically wins because he's mining more, but the Zerg player can also much more easily position his Swarmers to just keep on trading. Oh, the Hydralisks a bit too far forward here. The Locusts continue forward, and will they get Colossi? Again, no they will not. Very low HP on one of the Colossi here still. As Swarmcrawlers move a little bit further forward, and realizing now the main point of his focus will have to be towards the space to the bottom left, but the Zerg player is starting to be killed off. He's 40 supply down, and we may see some abducts here, and we really need to start seeing something to be able to pick away from this Protoss army. Now, if you could kill Colossi, if you could kill Void Rays, he'd be in a good spot, because the Protoss can't remake, simply because he doesn't have the money. He has the minerals, but he doesn't have the gas. And now finally a couple of Void Rays getting picked off coming forwards. And how many infestors do we have left over? Only 4, so a few of them have been killed off throughout the game. And that's pretty painful. This base has been picked off up here. Whatever it was that picked them off, I'm not quite sure. Some long distance miners still taking place. As an abduct maybe coming forward. There's a Colossi abducted. A second abduct will bring it into these Hydralisks. And a nice little pick off there. Another Colossi in the production tab. Protoss army moving back once again. And a few Templars are just falling back. Don't have the energy to storm quite yet. Vipers getting their energy up once again here. May go for a couple of abducts into the locusts. The locusts die so quickly. Some cannons being added on over here, and adding the cannons on over here is really going to limit Delane's chances in this game. I mean, he can't mine gas right now. He needs another base, but his problem is he's maybe even too far over this way now. Imagine his army was like here and attacking this way. It'd be much more helpful, and considering he's not using this base over here, it's maybe something you could consider. Should consider like moving into position for, because then he can slowly move up to the high ground as well, and then he's in a much better position in all of these fights. Now this time the Vipers are coming forward with these locusts. Not happy to take the fight just yet once again though. And well, 15-minute mark, we've seen this before already in this best of 7 today. Looks as though one of the Vipers did just go down. Are we going to see another 1 hour game with 10 in-game minutes away from that being a reality here? There's a bunch of locusts once again going to get picked off. Nice couple of abducts, but again, some Hydras start to fall. Locusts are chasing. I've actually seen this base here being taken by the Zerg, and this is pretty smart because, I mean, the Protoss' focus is over here, and he's kind of trapped in by these locusts. So maybe this is the base which Delane should have focused on much earlier. This Voidray count's still so scary in the sky. I don't even know if there's enough anti-air to just stop these Voidrays moving through. Storms and feedbacks killing off all but one of the infestors now. And once again the Locust getting killed off here. A single DT over here to try and pick off this base. Will go down then, this base finishes, so we have income once again for our Zerg player. Of course, Cross player has an even fresher base over here, and he's still mining over here as well. And of course the army supply is heavily in favour of the Protoss player right now. I'm not sure what exactly Delane should remake. I mean, he's actually making some drones, which is not a bad idea. I think he may need more anti-air, need something with anti-air. The problem is he's not being able to use the infestors to real much effect. Oh, another Viper goes down. A huge pig off there with that feedback. And I don't even know, he can't make another Viper because he's remade his hive in the natural. Looking for a fight here. The fungal growth comes down onto these Void Rays. One of them gets abducted, goes down immediately, continuing to push forward. The Protoss player looking for a victory right here and right now. And again, there's just not the anti-air needed to deal with these Void Rays, and these Void Rays are going to be able to just rain the skies. And as they can rain the skies, they're going to kill off all of these Soloists, and that's going to be game. We're not going to hit the hour mark for a second time. Zealots kill off this base down here as well. GG's called. And Trace brings us back to a 1-2 scoreline right now in this best of 7. And, well, Gravity back in this with that map going in their favour. But that was just Nuit Blanche's first play, and what a fight he put up. Now you kind of got to think, who's going to come out next from Nuit Blanche? Are they going to be a stronger player? And I mean, the likelihood is they probably are. So Trace really has his work cut out for him here. I mean, he really had to fight hard to win that game. Alright, so we're waiting for this next game to start on up. And waiting for the player pick here from Nuit Blanche. Not really too sure who they will go for. They've got Petit Drogo still in this chat channel. They've got Setson in here as well. And the Elroy just rejoining the Elroy just rejoining the chat channel now, so it's very possible we maybe see a game out of him. The spaghetti just as in the chat just says, started with a proxy gate too. Well, yeah, it did, didn't it? It was pretty crazy. And now here we are. Altazine, Daedalus Point. My worry is we've got the largest map in the map pool. Two of the largest maps in the map pool. Altazine and Frost still available. Daedalus as well, a very good map for Zerg players. And Habitation Station is also a possibility to come out here. Waiting for the next player from Nuit Blanche. It is going to be Elroy, so it's going to be his map pick. We'll see what he's going to pick. It's going to be a ZVP once again. And we'll see if we're going to see another Swarm Host game. Hopefully not. I've got my fingers crossed. Uploading this one to YouTube is going to be pretty darn fun later. And it's going to be like a 3-hour long video. I'll only take all night. Daedalus is our map pick. A very good decision to take this now. It saves another one of your players playing on it later when maybe they get sniped by a Zerg. So I like this pick. We're going to invite in these guys, Trace and Elroy, to get game number 4 underway here. Gravity just pulled it back to 1-2. Can Blanche resecure their advantage in the game by 2 maps? If so, Elroy will have to take this game. So awaiting his accept of the invite, and if they are ready, we'll start up straight away. It's going to be the green Zerg versus the pink Protoss here. As Trace is ready, and if Elroy is ready, we will go, go, go. And we're going to start up on Daedalus Point. Let's get into the game. On the loading screen right now. And here we go. Into map number 4. This best of 7. Oops, wrong way around. 2-1 right now. In favour of the green Zerg players team in the upper left hand corner. Nope. Playing for them right now. Looking to take a 3-1 advantage and take them to match point. It's Elroy. And in the lower right hand corner, the pink Protoss player from Gravity, Trace. Not going to proxy this game. Instead, going to make us pile on the low ground and go for Forge Fast Expand. Probably a Nexus first and Forge Fast Expand. As using his pylon to wall off just a little bit here. So. Here we have it. Checking for a proxy gate in his main base, just being nice and safe. And now going to move on down to the low ground and maybe even just scouting around here for his proxy gates as well. In fact, that's exactly what he's doing. He's going to find this probe. Not going to be too worried about that again. He just wants to see if a proxy gate is underway or not. As this probe will get into the main. See, no pool just yet. And Elroy will have to go for a pool first. With this probe over here, there's no way he'll be able to sneak a hatchery first down. The probe will block it for way too long. So it should be a pool first. This drone could maybe make a hatchery if he wanted to. It's not going to happen. And it looks as though the Protoss player is also going to go for a Nexus first here. Unless he adds on the cannon right now. Which he might. Maybe he adds on a gateway. Gateway expand. No, it's going to be a forge. So 15 forge. Getting in position to just make the Nexus though. But possibility to cannon rush is here. But again, with pull first, it's not that common. But still interesting to see him throw down the forge first. It may just be because of how he walls on this map. He may not be able to be safe in time for Zerglings coming across. So that's definitely a factor to why he maybe just goes forge first instead of the Nexus first. Probe's still moving around here, comes back in, checks, it does see that expansion coming down. Elroy, no gases just yet, and as he sees the forges down, he's probably not going to take any gases either, but he'll probably just stay gasless until the 6-minute mark, or 5-minute mark, depending how he wants to play this out. But he'll probably just take his third base nice and quickly off of no gas, and that's exactly what we're expecting to see right now, as he does move down with a drone, and there we go, third base going to come down nice and easily here for Elroy. And yeah, Queen pops out, throws down an inject. Gateway finishes up at the front, and I mean, altogether, we're just in a nice little safe part of the game. Cannon is going to deflect a Ling, not just deflect the Ling, but also kill its buddy. And that thing will be very sad now. He's all alone in the world. Still wags his tail though, Zerglings, they're always so happy, aren't they? Alright, well, Chronobu's coming down on this Nexus still. On the main base, Nexus sort of trace as well. So just making probes, he's not committing to any kind of tech just yet. I mean, he doesn't have a cybernetics core finished. So, you know, that's obviously why. Elroy just finally starting to saturate his natural expansion. Not really very much happening, just this single zealot walking across the map. Shouldn't be too much of a problem to deal with. I mean, the Queen's going to pop out of this third base. This Zerglin as well, just trying to delay it for a little while a couple more Zerglins come out as well, so shouldn't be too much of an issue. A Labbot 1x here. Moving around, a bit of a weird little critter. Oh no, I thought for a moment that the zealot was about to kill it. Zealot gets behind the mineral lines. Not going to be too much of an issue though with two Queens down here. The Zealot should probably actually die. The Lings are going to come in and block its escape path. So, oh, let's get away for just a moment. Bit of a mistake. These Lings are going to keep on chasing and eventually they will kill it. So Zealot goes down. And still we don't see... Okay, you see Twilight Council. We're going to see Dark Shrine out of Trace. Dark Shrine comes down. And... of Dark Shrine coming down, of course it comes down to, you know, Elroy, does he scout it? Very possibly, as Overlord was in a perfect position to maybe start coming forward, but now it's being turned away, and he maybe left that a bit too late. If he'd come in a bit earlier, he would have been okay, but hey, it's okay, because now at least he's not a little bit of a dead Overlord like this one down here. Oh, pure Hydralisk as well. What are these? Marines? I guess so. Someone had a very small fight on this map. Rover facility on the way. This DT Shrine 60% of the way done right now. We are seeing some Spore Crawlers added to the third base, natural, and the main. So DTs are not going to be that effective here. As Roaches do start in the production tab, they're on the way as well for Elroy. And things are just looking good for him. I mean, he's got the Spore Crawlers down. He's got the detection he will need against his opponent. And this Zergling coming into position to just check for that third base. DT is going to warp in from that pylon on the high ground and will now begin to head across the map here, see what exactly they're going to be able to do. No, there we go. Finally we click the right buttons to start following these. So these DTs coming across are going to head straight into the natural. Some Roaches have come out, remember, there's some Zerglings here as well. And I think he sees these DTs because he's splitting up his units. He starts an Overseer as well. So I think Elroy's got a pretty good idea that these DTs are here. And Trace is just going to hide the DTs in the main base for now. You know, he's not going to rush around and make sure he kills stuff with them right now. He's just going to wait for the units to maybe disappear a bit. Oh, he doesn't quite see it. This Overseer will finally hunt it down. So this one DT in the main base will go down. At the same time in the natural though, there's already Roaches here on this Spore Crawler to defend, and Elroy immediately going to be able to turn this away, and now he's going to be able to keep track of that to until his Overseer catches up. Or is he? Overseer's not on the way at all, so DT does actually escape. But good start so far. We're now seeing Blink and Immortal production coming out of Trace. Still no third base though. So there we go. Finally coming down. I was getting to say, he was getting to the point where it was going to be a little bit too late for that third base. But he did start it up just about in time there. There's another Immortal going to come out. So he's going to be pretty safe as he takes this third. However, I'm not too sure if you can really fight this army. I mean, it's a very wide third base. The force fields are going to be very limited, the ones that he's got. Roach Speed about to finish here too. Now he's coming down the ramp. Is he going to be able to force field enough? He's actually already lost a lot of... He's actually already been forced to cancel his third. And a lot of force fields are going down just to keep these Roaches away. But they're already still able to wrap around the back and come forward. And they're going to try and commit forward to get this Immortal. Immortal loses its shield. It's starting to take damage on its hit points as well. All of the force fields are now being used. One Immortal down. Second Immortal not going to go down at all. DT will turn this away. He tries to get the DT before the Overseer dies, but isn't quite able to. But most importantly, look at that, he creeps up this base while going for that attack, and that means this third base is going to be denied for even longer, or delayed for even longer here for the little probe. And these Roaches and Lings look to maybe get aggressive once again, but this is a huge army for the Protoss with +1 done. +2 will finish very soon as well. He needs to be very thoughtful about where he actually does fight. He's got a Spire on the way, so he's very possibly going to go for a transition here pretty soon. At the same time, he's going to try and run some units up into the natural. He's going to catch an Immortal up here, but he's not paying enough attention, so he's actually just wants to go straight into the main base. He's also going to get warped in up there. Forces a cancel once again on this third, and gets away with the majority of his units, and that's so important, of course, being able to get away with most of the units. And these Zerglings, one of them left over, this Zealot, not on good enough guard duty. And this single Zerglin on 3 kills now. Gonna end up getting quite a few of these probes. I mean, there's gonna be a 4th, and does he get a 5th? No, he actually even burrows it. Wow. Same time, DT is attacking the 4th base of the Zerg player over here. But the Spire's about to finish, and the Tech Switch is about to come in, and without any kind of Stargate, this is not going to be an easy hold for Trace. He's only just getting his third base on the way again. Once again now, he does have Blink, he does have +2, and that's they're 2 very good things to have against Mutalisks. But still, these Mules are going to be all over the place. It's going to be very hard to hold on, especially without. I guess he's lost his Mothership Core too. No, it's still alive. Where is it? Over here at the third, and with the third not finished, I mean, still can't quite. He can't overcharge his third base. So. So it comes to take the tower over here, and we're actually having to move out of the Protoss player. Looking as though he wants to instigate a base race here, maybe against these Mutalisks. The first Mutal comes in. Wow, just GG's, really? I guess there's a pretty big army over here. I mean, he could have tried to fight though, I think. Wow. I don't know, man, these Gravity players. Well, I say tapping out of the games very early, but then Space Marine, of course, he lasted quite some time. So, well, there we have it. Elroy takes the Gravity up to 3-1 in the score now. And map number 5 will be coming up here very, very shortly. We've had Daedalus, so now Frost, Altazim, and Habitation Station are our remaining maps, and Gravity have to pick one player to play on one of those maps. And if he wins, then he has to play on another, and if he wins again, he'll have to play on the final map in the ace match. Will we see that? I don't know. I think Nuit Blanche are going to be able to close this one out. I think it's going to be pretty hard for Gravity. As much as I'd like to see this go to Game 7, I think it's going to be pretty hard for them to take down Elroy. And then 2 other players of Nuit Blanche are just such a... They have such depth in their team. It's definitely possible. They definitely can, but I really don't fancy the odds for them right now, as we're awaiting their map pick and player pick for what could be our last map of the evening here. Just need to wait to see who these guys are going to pick. Once again, guys, if you're enjoying the stream so far, thanks for tuning in. you can hit that follow button on the Twitch. See when we go live again in the future. You can check us out on YouTube as well, youtube.com